welcome all you surf enthusiasts to SoCal Surf with Dan Nappy. Well, there you have it. 24 hours, the difference is night and day. The surf today was big and ugly. Walls of water, very few shoulders, the wind was blowing, it was choppy. Lots of people thinking it was going to be like yesterday and the day before, and the day before it was perfect. It was just big and ugly. There were a few good rides by the pier, but the current was pretty strong, so you got pushed down. You're constantly paddling south, and you're not getting anywhere. We just drifted down, and when it's big like that, you get separated. Your group is separated. There were four of us, and then there were two or three of us. Then there was two of us, and then there was one. It just can't stay together because the surf is big and the current's strong, and you catch a wave and you're 100 yards down the beach, and by the time you get back out, you're quite a ways. So it was pretty, and the water was warmer. The waves are coming out of the south. I mean, as they came across the ocean, you can see the angle to the shore. It's about a 30% angle, so they're coming way out of the south. And you would think there were some shoulders, but as they got close in, they just walled up and fell out. You couldn't keep up with the angles. You couldn't keep on the shoulder; it would just break ahead of you. So it was pretty ugly. So still got my exercise in. Did a lot of paddling up and down, but not much happening. So we didn't. I rode my bike. I met people down there. Some of the guys had other things to do, so they weren't there. And one of our guys, Mike, rode his bike over, and we rode down together from my house. I'm a little bit closer than he was. And then we surfed for a while, but just wasn't having any fun, just constant paddling and not catching any good waves. So we just decided that it wasn't worth it. So we just came in. By the time we came in, we were down to 14th Street Tower, and that's at least a quarter mile or more. It's past the condos. It's past Taco Reef, which they used to call Taco Reef, by 11th Street. So we walked back quite a ways, and luckily I had my 6-footer, so it was pretty light. And also duck diving, going backwards a little bit. Some of those big sets that would roll in outside, they're good well overhead, probably 7-8 foot faces. Just getting down deep underneath it is so much easier than trying to battle it. Mike had a longboard, and every time a big set would come, he'd get washed in and down the beach another 30 yards, just because you have to ditch the board, and then it drags you. And by the time you get back on the board, you've lost ground. So the shorter board has a lot of advantages on the bigger surf. But then again, you got to catch them steeper. So you got your good and your bad with that. So tomorrow is supposed to be bigger. So I don't know if that's going to be, probably going to be worse. That's a Saturday. And if it is good, it'll be way crowded. If it's just big and ugly again, it's just not worth it getting in the water. It's too many people by the pier. And so you got to be careful not to run over anybody, or get run over for that matter. So tomorrow, I'm not putting much hope in that. So we'll see what happens. And next week, that low pressure is supposed to move on out of here, and the high pressure is supposed to build back in, which is going to cause an offshore flow to the wind, which could be epic. It just depends. If the surf is good size and the wind's offshore, that's going to be just beautiful. It'll be warmer because when it comes from inland, it picks up the warmer air from the inland and brings it out towards the ocean. So you don't get the cool breeze, but you get the warmer air moving in. So it could be warm and offshore. So let's just see what happens, and we'll get out there and do some ripping and shredding. No wildlife today, probably because the waves were bigger. They were pretty far out. Probably didn't see anything. But Mike was telling me that he was down the beach a couple of days ago when it was calmer, and he saw a 4-foot leopard shark, or I don't know what it was. He said it was spotted. And he saw pretty big stingrays, probably 3 foot across. I don't know if they're stingrays or manta rays. I don't know. Hard to tell. I don't know the difference, but they were pretty big, he said. And that was a couple of days ago. So the shark's a bottom feeder. So I don't know exactly what species it was, but he said it was a bottom feeder, and that's always a plus. Less chance of biting your toes. And that was it. Pretty, not a good day, but you can't complain. Had 3 just awesome surf days in a row, so can't complain. Very, 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 very stoked for the last 3. Today, not so much. So until next time, this is a short podcast because nothing happened. Couple of dozen duck dives under some big waves and a lot of paddling, and that's it. There's no sun. And we'll see you next week, see what happens. If anything super happens, I'll let you know. But for now, not very good. Thanks. Check out our sponsors, Merch Hero, nappyclothing.com, Task Bullet, and Swing Easy Hammocks. Thanks for listening. Bye.